Welcome back, everybody. My name is Abby. This is a quick yoga practice for you to wake up your sleepy butts. Our butts do so much for us. And what do we do in return to thank them? We sit on them. So this practice is not just to wake up your butt, but also to say, hey, thanks, butt, for doing your thing. And let's get a little stronger so we can keep doing our thing with integrity and aplomb. So for this practice, I'd love for you to have 2 blocks and a blanket and a yoga mat if you have it. We'll start standing. So we're going to start by taking our blocks to our mat, and I'm going to stand up on my blocks. I want to make sure that my whole foot has a surface to stand on. I don't want my toes or heel kind of hanging off the end. I want everything solid. And then once I've got that, I'm going to stand up on it and take my leg that's not standing and just kind of swing it forward and back. As I do so, I want to keep the rest of my body pretty relaxed. Even my swinging leg is pretty relaxed. The thing that's doing the most work actually right now is my standing leg and my standing hip. So this is wake up your butt position 1. Left butt cheek for me is now, it's alert, it's awake. It's like, okay, we see what you're doing, Abby. We are waking up. And then sometime before your butt cheek starts to just burn, we're going to switch to the other side. So taking my right foot now to stand on the blocks, left foot to dangle, and just swinging forward and back. We'll do each side a couple times, so not to overly fatigue the first time around. Just slowly waking up the butts. Can be easy to look down as we do this, like looking at the standing leg. Try to keep your heart and head held high. Strong butt, proud heart. And then we'll switch over again to the other side. And there's no special way necessarily to swing this leg. You can go forward and back. You can also try going a little side to side in the front of the standing leg, even in the back of the standing leg, although that's a lot trickier. Be mindful of the standing knee. Keep that a little bit bent so that it's not too susceptible to twisting or being uncomfortable. Arms can swing as well, so you're kind of balancing a swinging leg with the swinging arms. And then again, we'll switch to the other side. Playing with going forward and back. Again, maybe side to side. You can go in front of the standing leg and go in back of the standing leg for a real challenge. It's going to be a lot harder, and that's okay. It's not meant to, your leg's not really meant to do that. So don't try too hard to go behind. Just let yourself swing in a way that feels fun and interesting. All right, and then we'll step off of the blocks. Just give both legs a little shake out. And just come to stand on 2 feet, 2 feet on the ground. Spread the toes. Maybe shift the weight forward and back. And then from here, we'll reach both arms up overhead, full stretch up into Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. And then softening the knees, we'll fold all the way down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands can find the blocks that you just used underfoot. A little side to side action here. Again, hands can be on the blocks or on the ground. Knees can be pretty bent and feet can be pretty far apart as you just sway a little right to left. And then from here, I'm going to set the blocks aside and just come into a down dog. So walking my feet back, pressing my hands into the ground, lifting the hips up. You might even feel a little stretch in the glutes here in this forward fold, especially after all the balance work that we just did. And then from there, we'll come forward into a plank, but briefly, and then we'll drop the knees all the way down to the ground. And here's where you may want a blanket I always like to pad my knees with a blanket, so if you do too, take the time to do so. And then we'll just take a few circles of the hips around to the left and around to the right. And again, you might feel a little stretch for the glutes here and the outer hips. And then we'll come back to settle in a tabletop and extend just the left leg back behind us. So everything else stays the same. And then I'm going to still push into the ground with my hands, keep my belly pretty strong, and then just lift my left leg off the ground. And then I'm going to bring it back down, and then I'm going to switch sides. Right leg lengthens back, hands push firmly down, belly is strong. Leg stays straight as I lift the leg up, and then set it down, and then over to the other side again. Left leg lengthens, lifts, feel my glutes, set it down, bring the knee back, and then switch again to the other side. Right leg lengthens, lifts, glutes are engaged, and then set the foot down, bring the knee back down. We'll do one more time to each side, just like this. Extend the leg, keep the belly firm as you lift the leg, and then bring it back down. Last time on this side for now. Right leg lengthens, lift the leg, set it back down, return the knee. And then from there, we're going to move into a half gate. So left leg lengthens. I'm going to take a block under my right hand. You may or may not want that. I'm going to come to the left sole of the foot. Right foot swings to the side as my left hand reaches up. And then first, I'm just going to take some circles with the top arm. So bringing the arm around, forward, alongside the ear, backward, down by the side. Meanwhile, right hand is pretty strongly pushing into the block or the ground. And then stretching the left hand straight up towards the sky. I might lean a little forward. Actually, I'm going to remove the block now as I lift my left leg about even with my hip. So now I'm using a little bit more side butt action and outer hip strength. And then I'm going to come all the way back down and switch to the other side. So again, I'll start with a block under my left hand as I extend right leg, come to the sole of the right foot, left foot swings to the side as I reach the right hand. And then starting just by moving the top arm around in circles. Ooh, my shoulder is cracking. Feels good. And after you've taken a few circles, you can reach that top arm straight up towards the sky. Again, you may want to remove the block for this next part if you've had it. I'm going to shift my weight just a tiny bit towards the top of the mat. Lift my right foot about even with my hip. Feeling my outer hip engage, my outer butt engage. And then bring that all the way back down, hands and knees back to the mat. And I'm going to take a big circle with my hips to the right and to the left. And then lifting the hips up, down dog again. For this, I'm going to slide my blanket out of the way. And then from down dog, I'm going to come forward into a plank pose. Knees can lower. And then I'm going to lower all the way down to my belly from here. Untucking my toes, my hands are going to just stay alongside my ribs as I lift into a little cobra pose, lifting my heart, keeping my back strong all the way down into my glutes. So I'm consciously using my glutes even here, pressing my pubic bone into the ground and reaching my tailbone towards my heels. And then releasing back down. I'm going to stay here, but take my arms down by my sides. Tops of the feet are going to stay on the ground like they would in cobra pose as I lift my heart, coming into a half locust pose. So full locust, I would lift my legs. We'll do that in a moment. But half locust, feet stay down, pubic bone presses firmly down as the upper body lifts into a gentle but strong back bend. And then release back down. Hands return to where they started. You can press back through plank. And then either a moment in child's pose or down dog, depending on what feels good. And take another big breath in. And breath out. Inhale, forward plank pose. Lower the knees with your exhale. Take another inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Untucking your toes. Take the arms down by the sides, this time full locust pose. So lifting your heart and arms, and then maybe your legs as well. If that causes any pain or pinching in your low back, you can keep the feet down, of course. But if it feels okay and good to lift them, lift the legs. Feel your butt engage. Pubic bone still pushes into the ground. And then release back down, press back again, child's pose or down dog. And then we'll return to tabletop. So again, I'm going to use my blanket to pad my knees. And we'll start out the same way we did with the extending the leg and lifting the leg, but with a slight variation. The left leg is going to, again, extend behind you. Lift the left leg. And this time we'll bend the knee, draw the knee towards the left tricep. Try to keep the hips pretty level. So I'm not trying to lift my left hip up. I'm trying to keep it pretty stable. Woo, and then extend the leg back down. And knee returns to the ground. Right leg extends. Lift the leg, and then bending the knee, draw the knee towards the right tricep. Again, trying to keep the hips relatively level. And then extend the leg. Set the knee back down. Same thing, other side again. Left leg lengthens. Lift the leg. Left knee bends as you draw the knee towards the outer left tricep. And then extend. And then set it back down. And again, right leg straightens. Lift the right leg. Bend the knee, draw the knee towards the outer right tricep. And then extend. And set the knee back down. We'll try one more time on each side. Left leg. Knee bends. Woo! Keep those hips level as you can. Right leg. And then from there, both knees back on the ground. We'll take a big circle with the hips to the right and to the left. And then once more, we'll come back into a down dog. Blanket can slide out of the way. And forward into a plank pose. Lower the knees. Lower all the way down. And then arms down by your sides. One more locust pose here, lifting the heart, the arms, the shoulders, and the legs, as long as that feels good for the low back. And then release. And pressing back just into child's pose this time. And take 3 patient breaths in child's pose. And then from here, we'll come onto our backs. And once again, I'm going to use my blanket. So if you want to pad your back body, take the time to do so. And we'll come just to lay on the back here. Knees bent. And then we'll take a bridge pose from here. So I'm going to bend my elbows, walk my shoulder blades a little bit underneath my body, and then pressing my upper arms and my feet down, lift the hips towards the sky. As my hips lift, I actually will walk my shoulder blades a little bit closer together. And then I might straighten my arms to hold the outer edges of my mat. If it feels easier for you to keep the elbows bent, that's totally fine. And then press the heels down and a little apart. Try to fire up a little more outer butt strength. Back of the head can even press lightly down, firing up a little back of neck strength. And then slowly lowering all the way back down to the ground. Shoulder blades can get a little wider. Take a couple breaths here. And then bending the elbows again. We'll take one more of these. Walk the shoulder blades underneath the body. Press the upper arms and the feet down. Lift the hips up. Shoulder blades can walk a little closer together. And then heels press down and lightly apart. And again, if you want to straighten the arms, you certainly can. Try to keep your belly relaxed. Breathe up high into the chest. And then slowly come all the way back down. Shoulder blades widen as you return. And then if it feels good, you can reach your arms alongside the ears and take the knees just to sweep gently over to the left. And then over to the right. And back to the center. And then from here, we'll come into eye of the needle. So I'm going to cross right ankle over left thigh. Draw my left knee towards me. And if my hands can easily interlace, I would take them around the back of the legs. That works good for me. If that doesn't work for you, you could take a strap around the back of the left leg and gently pull that. Or you could even just leave your foot on the ground and gently press your right thigh away. So any of those options. But now we're moving into stretching the glutes, especially on the right side. The glutes and also the deeper stabilizer muscles. Muscles that work so hard to keep us balanced and upright. Let's take another 3 breaths. And then uncrossing that side. Same thing, other side. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Draw your right knee towards you if that works. You can take your hands or strap to come behind the right leg and gently pull in. If that is too much, it doesn't work for you, then you can just take your right foot to the ground, left hand to left thigh. So wherever you settle, make sure your head and neck are relaxed. Try to send your breath towards your left hip. Relax those muscles. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. And then uncrossing the legs. Gonna hug both knees into your chest. Just give a little rock right to left. And if happy baby feels good, you can take your hands to either the outer feet or shins or even backs of thighs, giving your inner thighs a little stretch. And then releasing your feet to the ground. We'll take just a couple moments to be in stillness. You can let your knees rest against each other if that feels good in constructive rest. Or you could take the soles of the feet together, knees wide, for Supta Baddha Konasana. And if you're going that route, you may want blocks underneath your thighs for a little more support. And then just let your hands rest anywhere on your body. I'll just take 5 more breaths here. Letting everything soften. Letting the breath slow down. And then from here, you can help your knees together if they've been apart. Roll gently over to one side and make your way back up to a seat. Thank you for joining me. I hope your butt feels awake and alert and excited about taking on the rest of the day. I will see you all again soon.